You're listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, where a group of nobodies speak to an actual somebody. And now your hosts, John and Frank.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Frank.
And you are listening to the Nothing Podcast.
With Nobody Important.
And this week we have something really different. And again, we say that all the time, but this one is actually completely different than anything we've done before.
Because she's one of our own.
That's right. We've decided to interview from within. We've got Danielle Rose Fisher.
Yeah.
Our resident woman.
A rose by any other name.
That's right.
Would podcast as sweet.
So we had this idea that we wanted to interview ourselves also. We're also nobodies with interesting things to say.
Sure.
Between Frank and I and Matt and Tom and Joe and Danielle, and we wanted to always branch out and discover a little bit more about ourselves, and we thought, what better place to start
Then with Danielle, but we're really testing it out, and it doesn't matter. Right, of course.
Right. But no, I mean, we're here, we're into season 2,
Yeah.
and we've heard through this whole process so far that everybody's favorite part is Danielle.
Unfortunately.
And,
we're spinning our wheels over here. She laughs in the corner, and she's better than us.
Yeah, I can't figure out for the life of me why people like Danielle.
She doesn't even prepare. She doesn't hook up a microphone. She just shows up.
Nothing. But
anyway,
we want to give the people what they want.
And it's her.
That's right. So we sat down with Danielle. We talked about what it's like to be a woman amongst idiots.
Yeah. We had a special guest. Old Blue Eyes himself came through.
That's right. A little Sinatra action. A little Tony Bennett came in, and it was great. It was just great.
We talk everything from color theory to set design to her childhood to being on a game show.
Yeah. And I'll get into a little bit of Danielle and I's relationship, which has been, up until now, undefined.
Hopefully you stay together after this airs.
Right. So why don't we let's just get into it. And please welcome this week's guest.
Danielle Rose Fisher, and I'm Danielle.
All right, so here we are.
Here we are, the most inbred episode we have.
Yes, this is high pressure.
This is crazy.
Our guest today is Danielle.
Our own
Danielle. Sometimes producer, sometimes
mixer,
engineer,
yeah.
sometimes just sit there.
And now, guest.
Full-time woman. So far has not said one word.
This is going
I'm terrified.
great.
Hi.
So what's up, Danielle?
Nothing.
So we had this idea that we wanted to interview ourselves too, but it's come to my attention that as we are now in our second season of this show, unequivocally everyone's favorite character on the show is Danielle.
The Danielle.
All we hear about is people wanting to talk about Danielle and how good she is at this. I don't know.
I'm flattered. Thank you all.
You're the much needed dose of estrogen in this sea
you're a woman.
of testosterone. You're a woman.
Yeah.
We want to hear you podcast.
So how does it feel being the woman on the show?
Awesome.
Do you enjoy it?
Yes, of course. It's a highlight of my week for sure whenever we get to record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not me.
No, I don't know. I got so much other stuff going
Oh my
on.
God, I'm so excited when I go to work and I'm like, yeah, I'm recording a podcast, and I run home and it's like already set up.
I like that you did run, like you run with your hands, like she cuts out of work like Charlie Bucket.
That's
That's right.
How a puppet
I do.
runs. Just the
I
arms.
scurry away.
Scurries off.
Danielle, do you feel a lot of pressure here every week to represent all of your sex?
Yes. I mean, to be the female on the podcast, yes.
But you don't say anything so often.
I mean, what I do say, I try to just be as present as possible. But, I mean, it's hard. You guys are huge personalities. So to, compete with that, it's not a competition. But, sometimes I just don't
Or to
say
find
that
your
much.
niche in here.
Right. I feel like I don't talk that much anyway.
I think, avid listeners will know this, but some people might not know this, and I think we have to establish it, but John and Danielle are engaged.
What?
What?
Wow.
Oh my God.
You didn't know.
Beautiful. It's like the Notebook. So they're
Engaged
engaged.
to be hopefully
So cute.
married.
That's what. No, engaged in hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, engaged to be married.
It was really more the hopefully that was the point.
Well, we'll definitely be married.
Yeah.
Whether
don't
or
know
not
when.
the wedding goes down, we don't know at this point.
Yeah, we are engaged. We've never really mentioned it before. What's funny is that we met recording the first episode of this podcast.
You did not. You did not.
We're just changing lives.
It has been 7 weeks of wonderful engaged bliss. Right off the bat. No, but so like you're not only the female representative on this podcast, you're also the female representative in my life. Like, no, but like
Yes.
among this group of idiots,
I'm always there.
you're
and
always
I'm
there.
the one
and like
woman.
Frank's wife, Sam, is very much a female representative as well.
Hell yeah.
And,
It's
and-
home.
And right, and Tom's fiance,
Love you, Sam.
and from Tom's fiance Taylor, is also a
Yes.
female representative, but they're not always here dealing with this group of idiots. You are, even when we're not recording, like we'll sit around watching wrestling, and you're here just like, well, I mean, Frank doesn't sit around watching wrestling, and neither does Tom or Matt, but I
So
do.
it's you.
But you involve yourself. You have to be like, how is that? What is that? Like, what is that gonna be like?
Because you're like the Darla in the Alfalfa Boys Clubhouse.
Right.
I'm honored. I love Darla.
He-Man Woman Haters Club right up in here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm honored to be a part of the boys club, I suppose. But I also like am me, and everyone accepts that, and I appreciate it. So I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Like, guys are guys, and I'm just kind of chilling, and then
'cause
I'll
we
call you out on
literally-
your bullshit.
We literally have applications on the
Yeah.
docket of people trying to get into the boys club.
Absolutely.
So we keep telling them no because you're here.
Danielle, can you actually go through the applications and find us another girl? So your job, though. Let's talk about your career.
So I'm a full-time product designer at an enterprise software company, but I'm also a freelance illustrator as well. And then I'm also the designer for this podcast.
Yes.
Okay, so much pressure.
Tom loves it.
So when did you first get involved with art, I guess, is where we should start this thing.
So I think it's literally been since I could hold a pencil. I've been drawing and painting from as long as I can remember. Probably painted before I could write. But I've also just been like going to school forever for art since I think 5th grade, and just
But you were in
continued.
specialized school pretty early
Yes,
on.
I've always had art classes. Like, that was the only thing I ever knew I wanted to do. Like, I always wanted to be an artist. That was what I did in my free time. Sat in front of the TV and just like painted pictures.
Right.
Even with the crappy paints, I started from there. Went to the craft store, but it was like my happy place. And I just stemmed to, experimenting with other stuff. I got into like watercolor, which is like where I'm at now, but like I try other mediums. I love oil painting, but it's like so involved and I don't get to do it as much. But I did that in school and I loved it so much.
You have a very distinct style, which I would say is watercolors that go out beyond the boundary of the line of the thing you're drawing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can do photorealistic. You tell me that all the time, right?
Well, I mean, being in school for as long as I have in like specializing in art, like I learned how to do all that. Like, I know I can draw, and I can draw like a figure really well. So I could be photorealistic. It's just not my thing. Like, it takes too long. It's not my thing.
I mean, this photorealistic painting you did of Matt that I'm looking at right here is spot on. Sometimes it looks like it's moving.
Frank, it's just
Oh, that is Matt. That is Matt.
All right, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom loves that painting of Matt so
That
much.
was actually just Matt. Sorry.
No, like, I have paintings. Like, I definitely did more realistic work when I was in college, and I was focusing on like oil painting. So like, we took photos, learned how to then draw the photo, and then did underpaintings, and then did oil paintings over it. So it's much more realistic than my style.
What's an underpainting?
So traditionally it's done to like map out the shades. A lot of the time in like the Renaissance, it was done in like browns and just different shades of that. And I think it's just to like map out and see like how everything's going
Like
to
the
like work
composition,
out.
you're blocking it out.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's drawing, then the underpainting, and then you draw, like, you paint over it. And it could be jarring when you put color over it. I think that's why they did browns back then. But I did it in, like, black and whites. So it was, like, super jarring when you added color to it. But it was always really cool. Sorry if I sound like an uber geek. I love
just
painting.
Stay on the geek trail for a second. Tell us about when you and John went to Italy and you went to the pigment store. That was like was your mecca, right? Your head exploded?
Yes. So I'm obsessed with pigments. I actually follow this woman on Facebook who's super inspirational.
Patty Pigments. I made that up. I don't know.
No, it's Paper Fashions. But I found her, like, she went to Venice on an adventure and like ended up in this pigment store, and I was like, I need to go there. It was stunning. And so, like, I had never done that before, but it was something that I was really interested in for a really long time because of, like, the oil painting and my professor, like, teaching us how to, like, mix mediums. So I always wanted to get into mixing pigments. So I had gone to Venice, and we had, like, an hour. Thank God we had Google Maps, put it in. I was like, John, you lead because you know where you're going in unknown places. And he took me there. We walk in, and I'm just like, oh, my God.
It was like Hogwarts when they pick the wands.
Yes, it was beautiful. And this woman did not speak a lick of English, and I don't speak a lick of Italian. So it was really funny, like, having a conversation with her.
But you managed to do business with her.
Yes. No, it was very easy. I mean, I used small words. I guess I tried to use
Little Italian words, yeah.
Very little, but, like, we made it work, and I bought, like, I don't know, a ridiculous amount of money in pigments.
And pigments are powders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have not. I walked in there and I was like, I have no idea what we're doing here. It looked like a tea store.
What do you mix them with?
So it depends on the type of pigment. Like, it depends on the type of paint you're trying to make. So with watercolor, you mix gum arabic. And in this case, it's like little pebbles.
I always laugh at the Arabic.
I think
Gum arabic?
I don't.
Does it
I
taste
think
like
it's
tabbouleh?
gum. I could be saying it totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure I have two bottles in there.
How much is chewy? It's gum
pretty-
arabic. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
No, yeah, you are. I don't know what it is.
We're not saying it
I
right.
always saw it. I don't know what it is.
But
If you
yeah.
weren't saying it right, we would have no idea.
I know,
wouldn't be able
but
to
someone
argue on
might
that.
judge me. Like, sorry, if fellow artists, if
okay.
I say something wrong.
All of the high-ranking artists
Yeah.
who are listening to our podcast.
I don't know. Whatever.
Couldn't name one. Maurice Sendak. Screw you. Okay.
So yeah, you mix it and you mix the pigment. I think it's like 2-to-1 or something, and then you have new watercolor. And it comes in like pebbles, or it could be in like a liquid form. Then you can make your own like large things of watercolor. Like, people on Etsy sell it all the time, and they make really cool colors because like certain pigments are harder to find. So
But also just buy paint.
yes.
Like,
Well,
what-
I will say I'm a super snob when it comes to my materials, because like I started out with crap paint, crap brushes, and then like once I guess my family knew that this was like a thing that I loved, I needed to try better things. And then you realize the more, not necessarily the more expensive that you buy, it's the better like products, because that's so not true. But you have to try them out to like sort of see what works for you. So it does depend on the paints that you work with. Like, pigments could be more like much brighter. So like there's also like inks that I use, and there's certain ones that are like more diluted versus very, very vibrant colors. So like that matters with how your style works. But yeah, like I love paint too. Like, there's certain brands that I'm like, yes, that's the only thing that I'll use.
Like a Benjamin Moore, a Valspar, like paints like that.
Right.
I
Like,
mean,
what are we talking about?
well,
True
Winsor
value, she
Newton.
likes.
I
True
mean,
value.
Winsor Newton. I loved going to the general paint store in Queens though, and buying, like, being around all the paint.
That's what you love.
Yeah, being around paint and going into any
funny.
sort of store,
Yeah.
it just makes me happy. And I'll throw down
Well,
money.
when we went to the Disney Animation Studios, there's a whole room dedicated to the women artists who used to be the color designers, or
They, I think, painted, I don't know what the clear
The cells.
I think they painted those.
Right.
That's what they were in charge of. And then, like, they also were in charge of, like, the paint itself. There's a couple of books that are coming out. Like, I'm dying to read.
But back in the day,
I would have killed to work there.
They were, like, isolated, the women back in the day, because it was, like, all these men.
We don't know anything about that now.
Oh, yeah, right. No, but, like, all these men smoking their cigarettes or whatever, the women weren't, like, allowed in the courtyard, right? Mm-hmm. They were really made to stay in separated. This room. And in the room are little vials of all the colors that these women designed. Because the way Disney works is like Snow White's lips are a shade of red that does not exist anywhere else. Yeah. That's Snow White's lips. The women who used to work there developed that color for her lips, and that's it. It only exists in that. So most of the original Disney animated movies, and I think even going forward, a lot of their main colors are original colors. So when you go on a tour of the Disney Animation Studios, which is hard to get in the first place, but we managed to get a tour of it 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when you go there, they don't actually let you in the room where the paint is all held, but they take you to the window, and you can see in the window, and the wall is just covered in little vials of these paint.
Yes,
that were actually
used and are the only existing paint of the color that shade. Yeah.
Just being able to see those vials through the windows like made me tear up. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm so close.
And the women were like the unspoken heroes of the original Disney animated films.
The Lady and the Tramp spaghetti yellow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And it's amazing how, like, when you think of it, name all the famous painters you can think of.
Bob Ross,
right? How many of them are women?
Barbara Ross.
There are a lot of women. Barbara Ross.
Are there?
There are a lot of women painters, but not classical, famous, household name.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
I mean, but that's more modern. Frida Kahlo. Like, those are more modern.
What do you think? They weren't doing it?
I think they weren't doing it.
Well,
I think that they weren't afforded the opportunity or the
right. It was very.
What do you think? They weren't creative enough? Whether or not they were able to do it, they were doing it.
Not necessarily. I don't know. I agree with Frank when you say, like, they might not have been afforded it. Like, the women, I don't know any off the top of my head. I'm terrible with names and, like, as much art history as I take. Right. Like, you needed to be, I think, a really just a particular type of woman in that time to really stand out. And it's like, oh no, this is what I'm doing. Like, I want to carve like Michelangelo, you know? And I don't know I don't know anyone off the top of my head, like I said. But I don't think it really happened that often.
But would you say now illustration is a female-dominated, like, because like
it varies. It depends.
I know a lot of women illustrators and designers, and I know a lot of men illustrators who can't make headway no matter what. And there's a lot of women doing freelance X, Y, and Z. Like, where do you think that that's true, or do you think that's just perspective?
Yeah, I don't think it's true. I think it's generally split down the middle. When I went to college, like at FIT, illustration class was actually pretty much split in the middle with women and men, which is not something that happens at FIT. But I think it depends on the field that you want to work in when it comes to illustration. So it's like, I don't necessarily think that there's a lot of like comic book artists that are women, but I could totally be wrong because I know that field is changing. But like fashion, most women want to be in that. You know, like there's also like licensing for art, and like I'm guessing that that's a more woman dominated field. Who knows? Like it's such a broad thing to really say it's male dominated or women dominated. Like I don't really necessarily think there's a way to like pinpoint that.
All right, well, screw me then, I guess.
Hey, sorry.
And the wedding's off. Do you remember your earliest experience when you created something and the people liked it and you were like, wait, they like this. I'm making things that people think are good.
Yes. I mean, I have one specific memory of when I was in Girl Scouts. I must have been like 10 or 11.
Matt, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was.
Part of my troop.
I mean, my name was Shirley then, but I was there.
But I remember them, like the troop leaders, like knowing that I loved to create, and like we needed a sign for something. I don't remember what, but they got me the paper, and I remember being in my house, and like I rolled this gigantic sign out in my living room and dining room, and I got to draw and like design this sign, and I drew like the patches that we were working on or whatever, and it was for some sort of event, and everyone like was like, wow, you did so good. And I'm like, thanks, like I love to do this, I want to do more.
Wow.
So that's probably one of my earliest memories of that. And like I realized, well, art could be used in a lot of ways. Like I didn't realize that, but I also didn't like limit myself, because so I'm also a painter for sets at the Rockaway Theater Company. So like I've been doing that since I was 15 years old. My best friend's mom brought me and was like, here, go and paint. Like, and I met the artists there, and I learned how to scene paint. I'm like, I'm not a professional at it, but like I definitely know what I'm doing when it comes to like painting scenery. So that's also really, really cool.
One of my earliest memories of Danielle, I know Danielle from that theater company, probably for about 16 years, I think, right? And we were friends and like just out of high school, and we were like awkward, and Danielle was like, don't be offended. She was like, to me, like the Hot Topic, Spencer Gifts, I'm just misunderstood girl, right?
Yep.
And I remember hanging out in Danielle's basement at her mom's house, and there was Danielle just like paint all over the walls. Right, you had like stuff going on the walls, and there was a refrigerator down there, an old refrigerator, and Danielle used to draw, right?
Yeah.
In marker.
Yeah.
All over the outside of this refrigerator.
I had all my friends sign it that came down the basement.
Where's that refrigerator now?
Oh my God, it was destroyed.
Well,
it was
guess
so
what?
sad.
Here it is.
There it is. Come on.
The refrigerator.
I would kill to see that.
Hey, who's Keith?
Those were fun times. I painted my panels. Like I had a paneled basement, and I pretty much painted every single panel a different thing. It was really fun. And I just never asked my mom, but she just let me do it.
So your mom kind of cultivated all this, and you like was she supportive of you doing this? Your family was supportive?
Everyone of my family knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I don't think anything was going to stop me. My mother, anytime I like wanted supplies, my grandfather, anytime I wanted supplies, I would be like, please, can we go to the store? And they would get me whatever I wanted. Like I always had supplies because they were like, no, you love this. Like, I know you love this. My mom always says like, oh, I signed you up for dance. Yeah, you did it, but like, you didn't really care about it. And I'm like, you're right. But she was like, because you loved it so much, never even fazed me to spend any money on it, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
much.
that's big. Most people would be like, oh, but you got to get a real job, you know?
Right.
Like,
I was always very realistic about it, though. Like, even when I was applying to colleges, like, I openly told my mom, I'm like, to be an artist, like, I don't need to go to college. I just need to draw and I need to paint. Like, I always knew that.
but you did.
Yes, I did. I mean, I wanted a college education. Not that, like, I got the traditional one. I went to FIT and I drew for, like, 6 hours a day, which was my heaven. So, like, it was very different than, like, going and taking, like, archaeology classes or whatever you do in, like, CUNY, like, the core classes.
Right.
For the record, I went to CUNY, never took an archeology class.
I did.
I did.
Yeah.
We took geology.
What?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took art. Like,
Geology is not art.
Oh, I did.
No,
go
I know,
to
but I'm saying,
geology.
like,
There
obviously
was
geology is not archaeology,
core
Matt.
class.
whatever. No, I'm pretty sure,
I
like,
did take geology.
Yeah, it was
Did
a
you have to
core
go to
class.
the Central Park and look at the rocks?
We took it online.
We took it online.
What the hell? I was
That's-
walking in the park with the rocks.
No, we took it online.
We walked in the park after we were done taking the
Yep.
class online.
And I got a
Did you like-
pass-fail on that class because
Yep.
I definitely failed.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry.
Don't take geology.
I mean, I
online.
don't know why I took, like, I just wanted to take something, like, that wasn't English 1 or Math 1. I'm like, I definitely need something, and I definitely know I
But you also went to specialized high school.
Correct. So I originally got into art and design high school in the city, and then it was a disaster when my mom went to parent-teacher conference, and she was like, you have crazy teachers. I'm not keeping you in this school, because I would come home, and I loved the school, but I think I would have had a definitely a very different education if I continued there. Like, I didn't really have homework or anything like that. It wasn't necessarily challenging me. So my mom was like, I'm gonna like switch you out. And then I knew a couple of my friends from junior high school that went to Frank Sinatra, and that was also a school I had gotten into.
You went to the man?
Yeah, I went to
two Frank Sinatra, old blue
two,
eyes.
right. Yeah.
Hey, baby, grab a paper.
No, I went to Tony Bennett. He was
Tony
like,
Bennett was the
Correct.
How weird is that? Tony Bennett. You'd
Nice.
think that they were like opposites, like they were competition, but Tony Bennett is the owner or the creator of
yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
He well, so they had
Grab
a
your
dream.
paintbrush, baby.
They had a dream. I don't know.
You do a good Sinatra.
I do. Remember we went to Frank Sinatra and we walked in and we were like, this is great. What a great school. That was when Tony Bennett.
Oh,
when we
that's
walked
right.
in.
That's right.
we were like,
Do Tony Bennett talking.
they're doing Phantom of the Opera and it's just
Stop,
great.
Stop.
It's just great.
Can you do an impression of Tony Bennett talking to Frank Sinatra about accepting Danielle to the school?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it. All you, we're going to watch.
So tell me about this cuckoo chick, Danielle Fisher, baby. What do you know about her? Well, she's just great. She's really just great. She does great art and she does all sorts of painting and all sorts of wild stuff out there. Listen, if you vouch for a baby, I'll take her whatever you want.
All right, there we
you
go.
go.
That's it. That's probably how you got in. You're
Yep.
great at those.
That's the conversation that I think happened.
Is that how
Thank
it
you
went,
for
Danielle?
calling me cuckoo.
Yeah.
No, cuckoo, baby.
Cuckoo, baby. I don't know why he also sounds like he's going to do a brisk commercial.
You do a great Sinatra. Do Sinatra doing a brisk commercial.
I can't.
We just got Danielle here. Duke can do anything. Not wasting our time.
You've heard it already.
I wanted to
literally
hear it
put
again.
brisk in front of a baby,
Just do
and
it
that's
for
it.
me.
Watch.
Drink.
Ice cold. That's brisk, baby.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That'll make this podcast famous.
Now we've done it.
So,
But wait, I wanted to ask a question. So, you said you do the set painting. Mm-hmm. Now, Frank, you also do set painting.
Unfortunately.
You also do set design.
Yeah.
Whereas Danielle, you've said it yourself. You're not as much of a set designer. Like
No
you don't,
way.
you can't visualize. You not can't, but you don't usually visualize and put together a whole set.
True.
But you guys both paint.
Mm-hmm.
What is something, Danielle, that you hate when you're asked to paint on a set? Like something that you're like, I just can't. It bothers me. I can't do it.
You already know the answer, but
I do.
I do.
But I wasn't sure if there was also more than just
You can
that.
say it in a broad statement, I think.
I hate painting 3D objects on flat
Surfaces.
surfaces.
Same.
Where something could easily just be
So-
practical and it's not.
Yes.
I hate that so much, and I totally understand. Sometimes it's just like, I guess
Like we can't wheel in a bookshelf, paint this bookshelf on a flat.
Right.
I hate that.
I'm going to tell you a story. I will protect the names of the companies and the people to protect the innocent. But it was a serious drama. It was okay. It was okay. So we as involved in the theater, we all are. So I think we can watch things sometimes, and you got to try to turn off the voice because you have the voice that comes in. I wouldn't do that. That's a bad move. It's a good move. So it was really hard to turn the voice off during watching the show, and it was a serious drama. And as John said, they had they had books painted on the wall, and not well. Why not just get an actual bookcase? Why not get books?
Did they have to interact with it? Because that's
Well, no, they weren't.
That's
They
the
weren't
worst.
just
Where
like,
they gotta like grab the bag that's on the flat and they can't grab it
It
because it's
happens.
not there.
You pick your battles.
Yeah.
You really just pick your battles.
yeah, I think, but I not that we're talking about me or set design at this point, but I think when you're at its best, when you do a set, you're designing a world for these people to
Right.
live in and play in, and for the audience to somehow get the story more through this world. And it's real hard to do if the books are painted and
Yeah,
they're not
right.
real books. That's hard, right?
No, I mean, in general, I think just creation is so much easier when you're like the person that has the idea and can see it through. So it's like, that's why it does suck that I'm not a set designer, but I just don't have that. I don't necessarily have the time, unfortunately, but I probably don't necessarily have the vision for that specific like outlet. So I just sort of come in and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what you say.
But
And
you do projections though.
Correct.
And the projections give you a little more freedom.
Those are cool. I mean, we only have done them for the last like 2-3 years, but I think it works rather well for like the limitations around community theater. I learned how to animate, which is really, really cool. I think that helps a lot. But like, I mean, it's sort of also where like Broadway's going too. The projection use is happening more and more because like sets are just a lot and it's a lot more money.
Ask me what I think about that.
You hate it.
I hate it.
There's certain
I
aspects of it.
generally hate that sort of. I don't mind like when there's like motion and I'm not going to lose the word now. What is it when they could track projections onto pieces that move? Like that I appreciate.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But when a majority of your stuff is projected, like Anastasia on Broadway. Now I didn't see it, but I saw
didn't
pictures
see
of
it
it and
either.
videos, and it's very cool. But I also think if I want to see a movie, I'm going to watch a movie. Like I want it to
Didn't
happen.
Frozen do that too?
Frozen, the
Frozen's
castle
like
is
the
all
castle is
projections.
I
projected,
can't get
and
behind
that
it.
I agree.
But-
No, I agree.
I want to see 3D stuff. That's your challenge. Fit it in a box.
Totally.
But we
totally
went to see
agree.
King Kong, and the set was all projections. But the thing is that they were supposed to be on a boat, so they're on the front of the boat. The stage rakes up to a point to make the front of the boat, and the whole stage is angled, and the projection surrounds the whole thing. It's
cool.
And is a slowly moving. You get you get
when it
seasick
lands,
watching it.
when it like stops, the boat stops. There's also like a vibration that takes up the whole screen, like the whole stage.
Like that
It's
was really cool because
very
how
cool.
you gonna do that otherwise?
It
But if you're using
depends.
projections, I'm like,
It
yeah.
depends on how it's used. Like Broadway, yeah, no, I want to see a set. Like I want the spectacle on Broadway. So I don't really want, like, if you want just the general like background of sunset, okay, I'll deal with that being a projection. Like that's
Right.
cool. But for the whole set, like if I'm looking at Frozen and I want to see that ice castle, that better exist.
Right. Yeah, and you got to seamlessly integrate them too. I think you could use it to further something. But if at the end of the day, if you get like a power surge and then everything kind of turns on and you're just looking at screens with numbers on them and there's nothing else on stage, I can't buy it. I don't get behind it.
No.
Right.
No.
I'm
but,
with you.
But just for the record, if a show is all giant practical effects and it's all there, the show has to also be big enough to match those practical effects. And that giant set, I'm talking to you, Moulin Rouge.
Well,
Just saying. You have 8 chorus dancers and a giant elephant on stage.
Very specific opinions
So
on
while
that.
we're on the art topic, why don't we get into our rating game?
Okay, Danielle. So we know you're a fine artist. You're trained.
You're a fine artist,
thanks.
You're fine and a fine artist.
right?
Thanks.
And you're classically trained in art and fine arts. And we thought what better way to test this is by you rating Crayola colors that we find funny.
Yeah. And some of them, it's not so obvious what the color is, and the trick is we also don't know what the color is.
Excellent.
So we're just going to take
This
a guess.
is from like the 64 or like 128 packs.
the 128 pack.
I used to read all the colors because I
Oh,
love
good.
them,
These
but
are
I don't
old
know if I'll
friends
know
then, a
them
reunion.
anymore.
Yeah, I mean mac and cheese is not one of them, but that was always my favorite.
That's good.
All right, Frank, you want to get started?
Sure. What do you think about Fuzzy Wuzzy?
Fuzzy Wuzzy. I mean, I love the name. I want to guess. I want to know what color that is.
I assume a brown.
I would
I
say
think
it's
it's
gotta
gray.
be. I'd say it's got to be a brown because Fuzzy Wuzzy was a
a
bear,
bear.
which is brown. But Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair, so it might be beige.
Well, Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy.
Was he? No, he wasn't. So he could be any color.
So you're right. It's gray. Okay.
Excellent.
Matt can't get enough.
We
of
broke
Fuzzy
Matt.
Wuzzy.
Matt, you like that one?
How about Atomic Tangerine?
Ooh.
Right? It's like
That's
wow,
a sexy name.
That's
That-
tangerine.
See, am I rating the color that I think it is, the name, or everything? Because I
Yes.
love colors.
Certainly that.
Certainly that one you said.
I'll go with I love Atomic Tangerine.
There you go.
Not to be outdone. What about Neon Carrot?
That's what they used to call me in
Oh.
high school.
Did they?
So I love neon colors,
Mm-hmm.
but neon carrot sounds too close to Atomic Tangerine. But I still like it.
Okay.
What about Banana Mania?
Oh. Well, I'm allergic to bananas, so
No, we don't like that one.
oh no.
Which has the only female on the podcast. It usually is Banana Mania up in here.
That was the original first name we had concept of the podcast. It was just going to be called Banana Mania.
That's terrible.
Oh, I don't like this one.
Ooh, I don't like this either. I'm going to say it in a certain way. Unmellow yellow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Unmellow. This is a stressed yellow.
It's stress yellow. Well, I support you on mellow yellow
Yeah, yeah.
because I know stress.
Danielle can only be described as unmellow most of the time. How about Wild Blue Yonder? I like that one.
I like that one
That one's good, and
too.
it sticks with your family's Navy roots,
Yes,
which is nice.
I approve of this. This is great.
I know she's going to love this one. I don't even want to say it. Manatee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now a manatee is what? Like
Gray.
Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have
he's
said
gray.
a blue. I would have said it was
He's like a
light blue.
A manatee?
You're a little colorblind.
I am a little colorblind. I often mix purple and brown.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yep. And black and dark blue. Yeah, I can't tell the difference.
What color is Superman's hair? Both.
Could be blue.
That's right.
Is it both?
Sometimes there's blue in Superman's hair in illustrations. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So how about this one? Purple pizzazz.
Oh,
Which I thought said purple pizza, which I didn't know. You like purple pizzazz?
I do like
That
purple
shirt you're wearing,
pizzazz.
would you call that purple pizzazz?
No.
No, what's like a red wine? Like a no?
Yeah.
See, that
Yeah,
shirt to
little-
me is purple.
It's
Yeah, it's
purple
purple.
and red. It's purple and red.
So what would you call it? A Bordeaux?
Then we
Yeah,
post a picture
I like
online and her
that.
shirt is unmellow yellow.
No, we posted it. It's blue and blue and gold.
Yeah, just wearing a blue and white striped shirt.
Wild
just
blue
like Adam
yonder.
Hansen.
Here we go. Piggy pink.
Oh, I've read that one. I feel
thought
like
it
that's
said
old.
Pigeon pink, actually.
You are having trouble right now.
Piggy pink. That's a nice one.
That's
A nice
adorable.
soft pink.
I want to draw a little piggy tail with it.
Now the next one is tickle me pink.
Okay.
But what's the difference between piggy pink and tickle me pink?
If I
So
assume, on
I
this.
would say the piggy pink is more baby pink. Oh no, I would say tickle me pink is no. The pig one is a little bit more baby pink. And the other one is probably a little brighter.
So, tickle me pink is a little red. Because
Yeah.
when you tickle someone, you get red.
That's right. They get
wow,
out
the
of breath.
FBI still haven't found you, huh, Tom?
Wait, is that like did you Google that?
Completely made up.
But when you walk into the Italian pigment store in Venice, you go in and you go, "Buongiorno, come si dice, tickle me pink?" And they go, "Oh yeah, of
They go
course."
piggy
They
pink.
take you
Oh,
to the back.
prosciutto pink. Last one. Don't know any idea. We'll say it together.
I'm so
Okay.
excited.
Timberwolf.
Ooh.
Like Justin Timberwolf.
Justin Timberwolf.
I'm
me the-
bringing crayons back.
Give me the list. I just want to pull a couple. Like we're just gonna throw
You
them
want to
out
see
there.
you want the
Yeah.
list too.
So Timberwolf. What do you think about that?
It sounds a little frightening, but I'm assuming it's like a brown, maybe like a brown gray.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know if I really love the name for a child's coloring box.
What's the study called where people measure like how colors make people feel, and they make the like McDonald's is a certain color inside, so you don't stay too long. You know about that stuff?
Yeah, it's like color psychology.
Oh, there it is.
I don't know. There might be a name for it too. There's like red cars are more likely to be pulled over because red is easier to see by the human eye. It's like brighter.
Matt's car is actually painted like the side of the Belt Parkway. They never find him. They never even see him.
Clever.
He's just trees and litter. Yep.
Fuzzy Wuzzy is a dark pink.
Dark pink.
Yeah. Yeah, I got brown too. Yeah, dark pink. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Real quick, right away. I'm just gonna throw you a name, and you're gonna tell me what color it is, right off the bat.
I'm so excited.
Fast,
Okay.
no hesitation.
No hesitation. Dandelion. Frank.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna go.
wait,
I'm gonna
wait,
give
wait,
names.
wait, okay, wait.
So, okay, we got. Okay. Some of them are. Danielle, inchworm
Pink.
is light green.
Yeah.
Matt,
What?
asparagus,
Green.
dark green. Yes. Frank, maize.
Oh, it's like a corn. So it's probably like a mellowed out yellow with a little brown in it, a little white.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's basically beige. It's exactly right.
Wait a
That's it,
minute.
that's it. There you
What
go.
is that name?
It's maize. I go with maize.
Maize. Like Native American corn.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
were in art school and we were in history class.
Right.
All right, Tom. I'm gonna say, well, most of them are kind of obvious, but maybe not to you.
Not to you. it sounds-
Wisteria.
Say it again.
Wisteria.
Gray.
It's
That's
a
a
light
purple.
purple. That's right, Danielle. How about thistle? Anybody?
Thistle? Like a
I
thistle.
think
like,
that's a
green.
lighter
like a
green.
greenish, like a woodland color.
Incorrect across the board. It's a light pink.
Thistle?
That's
like
weird.
Milk thistle? Is that a flower?
Danielle, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Okay. So you're about to have a kid, and the doctor says,
Wait, let's be. She's not about to have a kid right now.
"No. Just stay in the
Clarify that
We
immediately.
all lost our breath for a second.
Yeah.
We're like, it's
You're
happening.
about, you're about to have a kid, and the doctor's like, all right, will pay for all the medical expenses, but you have to name your kid something out of the Crayola box, what would it be?
Cerulean.
Wow.
Just going to go out here on a limb and say Cerulean would also have been my answer. No. I'm not kidding.
Really?
No.
Yep, I'm not
What's
kidding.
the middle name to a Cerulean Panepinto?
George.
Cerulean.
I would have went with Wisteria.
Wisteria. Cerulean Wisteria. No, I like Cerulean George.
He's a member of the aristocracy. Cerulean. Okay.
No, yeah, I literally thought to myself, Cerulean would have been the answer.
It's my
That is
favorite.
a cool word.
That's my favorite Crayola crayon.
Well, what do you shorten Cerulean to?
Ruli.
Sir or Ruli?
Ian.
Oh, of
Ian
course,
is
the
probably
actual name
closest.
that's in there.
I like that.
So now, Danielle, you lived a life of a single woman in New York for a long time. You built your life. You established what your life was going to be. You're an artist. You knew what you were. And then comes along this doofus with 1,500 movies and a room full of collectibles and an affinity for stuffed animals. How do you make that work? How do you fit it in? How do you fit it into your life?
Or you don't. You just next to
So luckily, I have been granted a room all to myself for my art, and I think that helps a lot. But I'm also very lucky because you take really good care of all of your things, so that helps at least keep things organized. So it's not as bad as you made it sound. And I'm also like, whatever, we'll figure it out.
I guess. I feel like I always feel bad, like coming and waltzing in and being like, "Here's all my stuff," like dropping it down on the
I
table.
mean, look, there's things that, yes, you go overboard with. He's been begging me.
Not to be underestimated.
Begging me.
For
A $300
Yep.
replica,
Yep.
life-size Cookie Monster.
Yeah, it's about.
Look,
life size, how big is Cookie
It's
Monster?
just
like
about
three,
above your waist.
It's 3 feet.
What
It's
is it?
like 3
He
feet.
just stands there.
You can move his fingers, you can move his arms. He's got his fat body. You can move his legs, his mouth, and stuff. He's
beautiful.
not a puppet.
Look,
Okay.
it's
Googly
awesome.
eyes,
He has
he's
googly
beautiful.
eyes. That was awesome. But no.
Right.
Like,
$300.
Love you, but no. I can't do that.
You know what? I think this is a great time. I have the paper, I have pads, I have some markers. It's time to play the fiance game. Okay, so Danielle, this is your pad.
No. I like the
John, this is
newlywed
yours.
game.
Don't worry about it. Okay, Danielle, take your marker.
I want the blue one.
Okay, John, here's your marker. So, John and Danielle have not been prepped with these questions. Please hide your pads from each other. I will read your questions. We're looking for matches here. We're going to see how compatible you are.
Just FYI, everyone, if you're hearing people react in the background, they're all reacting to me showing them the Cookie Monster that is.
It is mint.
It's pretty amazing.
It is great. Okay, so again, we're looking for matches here. Okay?
Matt?
Matches. Okay.
That's what they.
Wait, I missed the rules. I'm playing.
It's like the newlywed
game.
I'll tell you. Okay.
Okay.
You are outfitted with paper and
Yes.
Sharpies.
Yeah.
And here we go. Please write down your answers as quickly as possible. It is a podcast.
Danielle, do you want that cerulean colored pen?
Yes.
I love that Tom called it Cerulean. Okay. Question is, what is John's favorite cartoon character? John's favorite cartoon character. Let's go.
John trying to think about the answer. This is probably not going to go well.
Cartoon character. She's looking at the movies.
No, it's this dude. It's the one.
Write it down.
You gotta write
I don't
it down.
know his name.
All
Write
right.
it down.
Let's go. John, you gotta write it down. You gotta write it down.
I don't even know what she's looking at. I'm gonna get it wrong. I feel like I'm gonna write something down I've never even mentioned before.
Okay.
You are.
That's
Fine,
fine.
that's part of the game.
That is favorite for like stupid things. And cartoon character.
Yeah, this is a tough one. All right, I'm gonna write down. This is not the answer.
Worst.
I'm relying right now on Danielle to tell me who my favorite cartoon character is.
Okay, so
Oh,
let's see.
I don't think it's really your
Danielle,
favorite.
you think John's favorite cartoon character is the Thornberry dude?
Oh,
Nigel Thornberry. Nigel
Nigel,
Thornberry.
I couldn't
And
remember
John
his name.
said
smashing
yours is
the Roadrunner
what?
because I do love the Roadrunner.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Okay.
I would never remember.
I think
right.
Nigel Thornberry is funny, but only as a meme from 2016.
Got it. Okay. All right, boys and girls, please write down. It's either the answer is him or her. Who said "I love you" first?
Oh. Same person who does everything first.
Okay. John wrote me, and she wrote him. Correct.
That's right.
Ding ding.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Yep, we would have been waiting forever. Because Danielle has zero faith in Danielle or John or anything else. So somebody asked last night, was she surprised by the proposal? The answer was 100% yes. And she said, I would have assumed I would have been waiting forever. Because she's an easy person to surprise. Because she doesn't see past her nose at all. So I have to be the first person to say stuff and do stuff. Because she gets down on it all so quickly that she won't do it.
So you're the initiator.
Not always, but a lot of the time. Would you say that's true, Danielle? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that face?
Next question. Which one of you is smarter?
Oh. I mean, it's all depending, I guess.
Okay, Danielle wrote me, and John wrote...
I wrote
Danielle.
Danielle.
Yeah.
He knew he had to.
It depends on what it is. Because there are certain things where that's not the case.
True, I'm a dope sometimes.
She is. Don't let her looks deceive you. Danielle is very much a blonde. A lot of the time.
Okay.
A lot of the time.
Okay.
She's like dopey a lot.
Wow,
But
this is husband material, Danielle.
when
Keeping you oppressed since
when it comes
2019.
to being smart, though, like smart. Oh, Danielle. But part of it's because I can't be bothered to pay attention. I think.
This makes me think back to when we did the spiritual being episode, and
Yeah.
we talked about all the stuff, and John's like, I don't think about any of this. I just eat my cereal and watch TV.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
does.
ready?
Ready.
After our first kiss, I thought... I just want to see what you think, if you have the same thought. After your first
thought.
kiss. Yeah, we could do that, right? That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
valid.
I could just say it. You
No.
don't have to write it down?
Yes! It's part of the thing we're
This
doing,
is more
Danielle.
funny than it is.
Imagine if Danielle's just like, ugh. How do you spell it?
All right, this is not really the answer because I don't really know the answer, but it's funny.
Okay, John,
All right, Danielle, go first.
after your first kiss, you thought, I couldn't believe it happened.
I
And
thought.
John thought,
Thanks, Frank.
yeah!
Well, I didn't know that at this point.
Right, and then after she thought I couldn't believe it happened, Danielle literally texted you, "Thanks, Frank."
Oh, yeah, that's
True
right.
statement.
Oh.
Yeah. So, real quick story. A little bit of history between Danielle and I. What happened was Danielle and I were very iffy as to whether or not we were going to be in a relationship. We weren't sure if we wanted to be for various reasons. But we kept putting it off or whatever, and then we almost kissed or something, and then we said no, we shouldn't. And then the next night I went out to dinner with Frank, and it was like
It was late.
like 11:30 or something.
Yeah.
I told him the whole story, and he was like, "No, you have to go do that, or else she's gonna think that you don't want her," which I didn't want. So Frank paid for dinner halfway through. We weren't even done eating it yet. He paid for dinner. We left. He gave me a stick of gum, and he goes, "Show up at the
I give
house."
you 2 sticks of gum.
Because I was
Right.
asleep.
Right.
And he goes, "Show up at the house, ring the doorbell, don't tell her you're there. When she comes down, you put the gum in her mouth and you kiss her, and that's it."
That's right.
And that's what I did.
Tom is looking like I gave you a plan to assault someone.
I like that he had the morning breath
It
concept
wasn't
ready
like
for
that,
it.
Tom. It was like she wants you to kiss her, but it's the middle of the night, and you're gonna surprise her and kiss her. She's gonna be self-conscious that she has morning breath.
Let's just
So-
play this over one more time. Sorry
Okay.
to jump on you.
Yeah.
It's 11:30 at night. Danielle's dead asleep.
Why don't
Yes.
we? Should we act this
I
out?
was-
The
Yeah, let's
conversation?
act it out. Let's act it out.
Yes,
Okay,
the conversation.
Let's do ours. This is our scene.
I was like, "Frank, I don't know what to do here. I think I want to, but I don't know."
You gonna finish those fries?
No.
I have an idea.
Okay.
You have to kiss her, or she's gonna think you're not interested, and that's the last thing you want.
You think so?
You gotta kiss her now. It's gonna be too late if you wait till tomorrow.
That's what happened.
But it's really late. So, go ahead, Tom. Yes.
Hi, I'm the waiter.
Yeah. Why did you knock?
Footsteps.
Hang on. Let me open this door.
Oh, it's footsteps.
Oh yeah, yeah, waiter.
Hey, I overheard your conversation.
Ah.
Here, I got an idea. It's 11:30 at night. She's probably dead asleep. Knock on her door. Hide. And then when she opens it, stuck just throw down some gum in her throat and kiss her. Run away. Don't even
exactly
tell her
what
what it is.
No, but wait, that is basically what happened. And then Frank told me kiss her and leave without saying anything.
Did I say that?
That part didn't happen.
No, did I say that?
That part didn't happen.
That would have been super dramatic. I would have said that. Yeah.
You did, and that part didn't happen. And then immediately Danielle texted Frank and said thanks. And then 4 years later, when I proposed to Danielle in the same spot, I gave her the gum and I got down on a knee.
You did?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, it was not in the middle of the night though.
No.
But Danielle, did you appreciate that you had gum that day?
Oh my God,
Because
yes.
your breath was bad.
Yes, I was dead asleep.
Sometimes now I wish I wake up and I'm like, "Where's the gum?
Oof.
Give her the gum." All right, let's do one more question.
This podcast brought to you by Trident. Okay.
It was actually, it was actually Chobani flavored gum.
Was it?
It
What was the flavor? Love.
It was Greek yogurt flavored gum.
It was quite good.
Yeah, it
Thanks,
was good.
Giovanni.
And I had to put you got to put the Greek yogurt flavored gum, and then you got to chew the blueberry gum, and then some honey gum, and it makes for a nice Chobani bowl.
There's a plastic flavored one for the container.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
Last one.
We're not looking for a coherence here. They don't have to match. But what was your first impression the first time you laid eyes on your partner?
The first time ever?
Ever.
Remember, this is recorded. I know what he's going to say.
Great.
Should I say
but
it?
the
Should I
listeners
write it down
don't.
and say it?
You just say it.
No, write it down. I want it in writing. Open your mouth. Here's some gum, John. So nervous. Tom's looking over John's shoulder. Tom, is it good?
Yeah, he's got like serial killer writing.
He does.
I have the worst
He's
handwriting.
taping letters together.
Read it at least.
So I will say that for a while before we even met in person, Danielle and I were Facebook friends. No,
we
this
had
is
met in
after
person.
that.
We met during painting for Charlie Brown, and I remember
I don't
Frank
remember
being.
that.
You don't remember that?
No,
I don't remember that either.
Right. I came and helped paint, and you were like, "Oh, you know him? He's around." And I was like, "I definitely don't know this guy," but I was like, "All right, cool,
You had already
whatever."
seen me in Les Mis, though.
Les Mis happened before Charlie Brown? No,
No, it didn't.
no, it didn't. Because then I remember. I was like, I think I met you at the
I
theater.
think I said
before
to
then.
you, you've seen him around.
Yes.
And in 5 years, he's going to ask you if he could buy a $300 Cookie Monster.
That did happen.
Okay, so
So wait, so what was your first thought?
at first I was, he seems nice.
No, this is when we met at the theater cleaning up Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy, not a woman named
Not a
Sandy.
woman or a dog. So
Cleaning up
to my
after
knowledge,
Sandy.
He seemed nice. Yes.
to my knowledge, I first officially met Danielle when we were cleaning up the Rockaway Theater Company at Fort Tilden after Hurricane Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody there but Frank because I was really barely part of the company.
And I only knew Frank too because I had disappeared for a while, and honestly, I only knew Frank at that point.
Right.
And I knew
Back.
Frank and Najat, who we got to give credit to Najat, who was doing it. with us.
Najat was our fourth.
And Frank built a team of Najat, who's this girl from the theater, and Danielle and I, two people who didn't know what else to do except follow Frank around.
Well,
clean
I
up
knew what
stuff
to
around the
do.
theater.
I just didn't know anyone, and it was
Yeah.
not a day to
Right.
like bother anyone.
No. It was an emotional day.
I'm crossing out a word because I did not think this word. All right, so
You did later.
No, I left that word. So Danielle said, he seems nice. When I first met Danielle,
Oh, God.
my first thought was, that big girl from the theater. Okay.
Are you happy you asked that question? Yep.
He's so happy.
Because at the
John's
time,
sweet.
So horrible.
John is sweet.
Danielle is tall. She's tall. She's got a wide frame. Her shoulders are wide.
Stop.
I've heard this already.
She'll tell
Danielle's
multiple
shoulders are
times.
not wide at all.
They are. She's like a linebacker.
This is recorded for our families to listen to.
No.
Just so you know.
No. But at the time, and Danielle admitted it when it came up.
breathe.
Danielle said, that she was in a different shape at the time
No,
than she
I
is
definitely
now.
had more meat on my bones.
And she'll say that. And I didn't think she was fat. I just thought,
I
oh,
was
that's
big.
that big girl. The big girl. She's tall. I've seen her around.
You can't redeem it. Oh my god.
That's what I
He goes,
thought.
didn't you also think I was Spanish?
Oh, I still think you're Spanish. She definitely looks like, if you look back at the pictures on her Facebook from right before we met, she's full Boricua, no question.
Like on the 6th, she's Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
No, yeah. And then we were, after Sandy, we were friends on Facebook for like 3 years. And the next thought I had...
Frank's gonna frame it in his
We gotta-
house.
We gotta. I want to post on our Instagram this little scratchy, that big girl from the.
I thought it was... At first I wrote that weird big
Yes,
girl
you
from the
did.
theater, but I didn't have any
Yes, you
preconceived...
did.
No, I had
Yes,
no...
you did.
I had no preconceived notion of either.
Look, and was I weird? Am I weird?
Yes.
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 But no, and
Oh,
then
that's
after
funny.
that, for years after that, my next thought of Danielle was always, who the hell's Danielle Fisher? Click on her name. Oh, the girl from the theater. Right. That was always. I saw her on Facebook all the time. Couldn't remember for my life who she was from day to day. And then I would see her thing. I'd write happy birthday on November
This is a very important question.
17th, 18th. I always get it wrong.
18th.
I always get it wrong.
Is
I
it
always
18th?
It's the 18th.
For some reason, I always think it's the 17th, which is not bad. It's better than thinking it's the 19th
Just
and
remember,
missing
just
it.
go up bigger for the big girl.
The big girl. No, well, it's better than missing your birthday. Getting it a day early is nice.
Correct.
Yeah.
You just seem like a 17th. I look at you and I think 17.
She's an odd number.
She's an odd number for
Definitely
sure.
right.
She's just that's a great way to describe her.
Thanks.
An
She's an odd
odd.
little-
She's
How would Frank Sinatra call her an odd number?
it's that dame's one odd little number, baby.
She's a.
You know that the big weird girl from the theater. You know the one. You know that the chickadee with the wide shoulders.
They're getting married. So nuts.
Yes.
Ay, ay,
Yes.
ay.
So Danielle, you are a working woman, and when I say working, I mean works hard. Danielle does not stop working. Of anybody I've ever met, there's nobody with a better work ethic than Danielle. This woman is dedicated. When I talk about drive, people always say, like, what do you want in life? My answer is always going to be whatever Danielle wants, because if Danielle wants it, she's going to get it. She will do whatever it takes, work hard until she's blue in the face to do what it is she needs to do. She's going to get it, always. That's the way there is.
Cerulean in the face.
Cerulean in the face. She's
Very
going to
good
get
callback.
it. No, but you've managed to formulate a career around your designing. So what is it that you do? How did you, kind of piggyback off of all the design work you've done to an actual career job that you have?
So when I was in college, I worked, but knew I wanted to start to supplement my time to get into more of a career. And I was like, illustration is not necessarily a steady career. So I was like, design is probably the next best thing. I know the programs. I'm pretty sure I can be a graphic designer. But when I was not, as I was ending school, I was applying for anything and everything freelance related to try and build up clients, because I didn't know really what I was doing, but I needed something for my portfolio. So I ultimately just reached out everywhere. And then I was then afforded a job at my current company. I started out as the creative coordinator, but was way too stressed out because I can organize stuff, but I really wanted to be a creative. So I had then eventually asked to be a part of the brand team. And I had then developed the design skills around that. And then on top of everything, with that experience, then I reached out to even more clients, and I sort of just did everything. I started with logos, and I do little things for little companies, and I still do that because that's probably the most fun thing. And I like to give people that want something, give them a chance till I have what they want. But it takes a long time to develop a client base. Now I'm very lucky. Like, I have a lot of freelance work on top of my regular work, which is tough to, like, balance. But John, like, helps me and lets me know it's okay because I don't want to be working 24/7, but I do work a lot. I mean, yeah, it takes a long time, but you just sort of... I literally just didn't say no to anything.
Right.
And that's sort of what I was told.
Even to John.
Marry me.
Right.
No, but it's true. Like, I mean, she takes on a lot of work from a lot of clients, and I know that you pride yourself on doing stuff for like mom and pop companies and people who need logo designs and things. You know, it's kind of, we talked about it the other day. Like, it's one of those things where sometimes you have a skill that you don't realize is not a skill that everybody has. And once you realize that you have that skill, you sometimes become the kind of person who wants to share it. So, like, somebody will come to you and ask you to do something like it's a big deal. They'll write you a big email, and then you turn around and do it in 5 minutes. But it's never about the fact that it took 5 minutes. It's about the fact that you can do it and they can't. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, you don't even realize that.
Right.
Like, you'll say, look how easy this was. And I'll go, I could never have done that. Like,
it's not, like, always that easy. Sometimes it's tough. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, but, yes, I definitely don't mind doing, like, smaller projects for smaller clients because they don't know where to start. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert by any means, but I definitely have at least some foresight into, like, where they're going so that I can give them the information that I've gathered over the years and to help them.
If you can help, you want to help.
Right.
Basically.
Absolutely.
So now when you work with a client, they have to contact you through email. They email you what it is they're looking for, and then you have to kind of visualize it.
Correct.
With as little correspondence as possible, right?
Not as little. Like, it depends on the client. It depends on the project. But, like, most of the time I get emails and, like, they more or less, like, outline the project, but not really in detail. And then I follow it up, and I'm like, when do you need this by? What's your budget?
Right.
Like, what are you looking for exactly? Do you have any, like, inspiration pulls? Just so that I'm not, like, going off the rails. A lot of the time, though, I definitely pride myself in understanding a lot what people want. I can also really tell if there's, like, going to be a difficult client. Like, you can just tell.
And then you
after
won't take it, or...
At this point, I definitely can say no to some projects just because, like, I don't have all the time in the world. It is not my full-time job right now. But, like, I either try to, like, offer somewhere else to go or, like, maybe try to keep in contact with them for, like, a later time to, like, follow up with them. But, yeah, like, it definitely depends. Like, unfortunately, it does come down to money and then the time around the project, which is also something you have to be good at as a freelancer. Like, you have to really understand, like, how long things take you to do, because then you have to price it against that. And, like, you really can't be afraid to, like, talk about budget. And it's like, I just had someone, like, reach out and they wanted 20 illustrations and they wanted it in, like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, they're not terribly detailed illustrations. Could I do it? Totally. But, like, and if you're asking for 20 illustrations, I could probably do it for less than my hourly rate, or, like, a less than, like, a one-off rate, you know? So if you're doing it in bulk, then you just learn these things over, like, the years of doing it. I mean, it definitely takes a long time to feel comfortable with it, but, you know, you just learn it all. And something I remember from college is, like, they always said that it takes about 10 or so years for you to really get your foot on the ground and, like, really be able to do this for at least mostly full time. Right. Which is crazy, but, like, it seemed like a really long time ago, but now
You're
I'm
there.
Yeah, like, I am there. Like, I was afforded the opportunity to illustrate 2 books, which still baffles me.
What are the names of those books? Quick.
So it's they were both part of a series from Women at Work. One is called Men at Work and one is called Fashion at Work. They're amazing, and please check them out at womenatwork.com. But yeah, so, like, I was afforded that opportunity, which is still crazy to me, but you know, I feel like I put so much work into my passion, and, like, I'm super thankful for it, but I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, I'm ready to do it.
Right.
You know?
It's very impressive that you were able to do that the way that you have.
Especially as the big weird girl from the theater.
Right.
Right.
But so
I've
really
come
quick,
a long way.
we want to play our last little improv game with you.
Right.
Where
Terrifying.
we're gonna Frank and I are trying to come up with a design for a project, and we're trying to get you to do the design for us. But the trick is we're gonna word it like it's an email,
Okay.
and you'll respond like it's an email.
Okay.
And the game's called Email Chain.
Here we go. Great.
You want to start, Frank, or you want me to start?
Sure. I'll start.
Go ahead.
Hi, Danielle! Exclamation point. Saw your stuff on Pinterest. Looks really good. Got an idea for a project. HMU. Thanks.
That's so good. Hi. Wait, I'm gonna not be able to do this because also, just so you know, it takes me forever to write emails because I'm
God,
such a
I wish we
psycho.
knew this first.
And I proofread all of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
God.
all of them.
I don't have
please.
to proofread all of them. I never make any changes, but she makes me proofread all of them.
Well, I just want to make sure that I'm very paranoid
Okay.
and like anxious person.
This game's gonna go
I
nowhere
don't
fast.
have to proofread anything. I never make any changes.
I just need affirmation, I guess. Hi, thanks so much for reaching out. What pieces did you see on Pinterest that like struck your interest? Could you give me some more details around your project and time frame / budget? I'd love to connect if like via phone, if that's easier. Let me know. Thanks, D.
Hi, Grandma. Thanks for the care basket. Thought it was really good.
Hi, Danielle. Sorry about that. This is John. We got confused in an email chain there. Never mind that. So our idea is, however, in connection with that, we want to design care baskets for people. And we're thinking our design might be something like an orange circle with a little square in it. Budget is not a concern. We can discuss that later. Also, unfortunately, right now, Frank and I have no phones. Let me know what you think, John.
Hi, John / Frank. No worries about the past email. That's understandable. As far as your project, what do you mean about designing the circle and square? Is that in regards to a logo or in regards to a piece within your care basket? Also, what is the point? Like, what is the purpose of the care basket so that I can keep that in mind for the project? Let me know. Thanks.
Hey, Danielle, thanks for being so forgiving about my previous bad email. Also, our deadline is next week, so we really need something in as soon as possible. Also, we're not sure how much it's going to cost, so we should $25 cover it? Thanks.
I would laugh really long time. I would also send this chain to my friend Victoria and Melissa because they understand
They know what
talking
it's
to
like.
clients. So I would respond with, "Hi Frank, the time frame depending on the description of the project shouldn't be a problem. I work pretty fast. As far as budget, that's something that we can discuss once the project is more outlined."
New email. Hi, Danielle. It's John again. Just looping in Matt. He's our finance officer. And I just want to make sure that everything's going well.
Hi, Danielle. This is Matt. Unfortunately, we just applied for bankruptcy and we won't be able to pay anything. But our lawyer has allowed us to have a $500 fund to pay any existing contributors.
Hey, Danielle, this is Josh Lockamy, personal injury lawyer. I'm just writing to you. We're going to be suing you on behalf of my clients. If the project was done, they wouldn't have had to file for bankruptcy. You will be hearing more from me. You can expect to be paying upwards of $25,000. Also, the circle with the square in it looked really cute.
Reply all. Hi. Sorry. Listen, Tom, here's the thing. I don't know what this girl's doing. I don't know why she's bouncing us back and forth. All we asked was for something very simple, but she doesn't seem to understand. Jay.
Jay, Frank, Matt, even D. Hey, everyone. I told you she was weird. Look out, Clea. Clea.
I would stop responding. I'd be like, I have not done any work for these people. Peace.
That was email chain.
That was
also,
email
shout out
chain.
to Josh Lockamy, Season 1, episode
4.
4. Our lawyer. Not really here. We were just playing him.
That'd be really great if suddenly it was just like, "Hi, this is Josh Lockman coming in." That's great. So that's. I want to wrap up. The last thing I want to ask about, Danielle, it's the thing that's on everybody's mind. It's the thing that we hear from everybody. And I'm going to ask point blank. What's with the laugh? That's the one. What's the deal? What's the deal? People hear you laughing in the background.
Less of a laugh. It's more of like a yell.
You could definitely do a voiceover for like a witch that you squeeze the hand and it laughs.
I have no idea. I was blessed with this laugh from my wonderful mother, who has just even more of a louder laugh than me, which is shocking. But hers is way more uncontrollable.
Right.
I don't know. It's
I do get
definitely
embarrassed to go see comedies with you.
You do. Yeah. Yeah. He looks over when I get really loud and like we're in a Broadway show and I'm like, oh, paranoid.
So you're like a professional laugher.
Yeah. I mean, technically I am.
She got paid for it.
I did get paid for it.
What?
So my friend Michelle was on like casting calls and got an email. It was like, do you know anyone that laughs like at inappropriate times or uncontrollably or breaks out in hives or something like that?
What?
And so she was like, I already submitted you for this. I hope that's okay. And they immediately emailed me back. Actually, and then I had 2 Skype calls with the woman. Frank was in the other room.
That's right. It was a long time ago.
Actually, I forgot that.
I was there.
Yeah. And
You filmed it.
Yeah. I was like an 8-hour
I went to the taping, yeah.
Was
John,
it funny?
It was great.
It was.
She was funny.
I'm honored. I was funny. I was really proud at because I don't know who the heck I thought I was that day, but I was like, I got to do this. And I ultimately got paid like almost $5,000 for laughing on television.
She won.
No, you did
She
not.
won
I
$5,000.
I didn't win. I actually
she
was
lost
the
the show,
first.
yeah.
I was actually the first eliminated, which was bullshit.
She smiled, and they were like, "You're out." And then the next 2 guys literally laughed, but because they were getting into the groove of the show,
Yeah.
the specifics of the
changed?
rules changed.
Yeah.
She definitely should have won. There's no question.
I was pretty proud of the way I performed on
Yeah,
that show.
she had to like do tasks, like be a weather person, getting like fish and
I
stuff
wish
thrown
I
at her,
had-
and try not to laugh.
I wish
No.
that aired because I would kill to
So
have that
funny.
footage. But it was like a full set. It was huge.
An
I mean,
audience?
yeah. Full audience. Like I had like 5 or 6 tickets. It was crazy.
You have pictures?
No.
Probably not, right?
No.
So what happened was she had to tell them things that she liked, and we were standing outside the studio, and we saw a person walking about 8 puppy golden retrievers.
Oh my God.
And immediately we said, Danielle's she's done. She's done for. And then her first game, they put
It was called Puppy Love.
Puppy
I was
Love.
like, I literally kept saying, I was like, I don't want to choose this, but I do want to choose this. What do I do?
she laid down.
So I laid
No.
down. I had to lift my shirt because I actually had to sign a paper saying like it's okay to show my skin on the program. I was like, show my skin? What is this gonna be? So I had to lift my shirt, show my belly, which was very uncomfortable. But they put wet dog food on my stomach.
What?
And released like 10 golden retriever puppies to eat and like tickle my stomach to make me laugh.
Was it adorable?
It was so
It was the best
Did
thing
you
ever.
laugh?
No.
So I did not laugh out loud. I literally yelled at the dogs. I was like, "This is incredibly unpleasant. You are so cute. Get away from me."
She smirked.
I cannot believe
And then
that
she
this
was out.
is
She was out.
happening. And yes, I did not laugh. I smirked. I was out in 15 seconds, and that was the reason why I lost the game. Otherwise, I technically would have gotten all the money.
Little known thing about what the game shows: the grand prize winner won
25.
$25,000.
But it never aired.
Right. If a game show never airs,
There's a cap or something.
the guests can only get up to a certain amount. So she had won $5,000, got eliminated. The next guy won like $12,000, got eliminated, and the winner got $25,000. But because the show didn't air, they all got $5,000.
Oh, wow.
So really, it didn't matter if she won
Yeah,
or
it
lost.
didn't matter.
They weren't going to give her any more.
The best game that happened was a dog behind a curtain, and then the hands like human
Oh, yeah,
hands,
like from
hand?
Sesame
Yeah,
Street with
yeah,
a dog
yeah,
in
yeah.
and
the
then
hand.
feeding the dog like hot dogs or something.
And you had to watch it?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the audience and I was hysterical. It was so funny. I thought that because I would have laughed during that.
That's
but
cool.
What I learned the most interesting about that is after it was over, they were doing B-roll and getting close-ups, and they asked Danielle to laugh on command. And she can. She can laugh on command.
Yes.
Like a real laugh.
I can.
So,
Tom's
lower
like,
the
gotta
fader,
turn
Tom.
her down. Okay, ready? Danielle. Can you laugh? Go. I couldn't do that.
What's prompting it? Just laughing itself?
She finds herself so funny.
You do. I love to laugh.
Yeah, she
What's
finds
that?
herself
Mary
so
Poppins.
funny. Me, I'm doing laughing. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been a great thing.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that we got to actually talk to you and hear from you.
Thanks. I'm honored. I don't know if I shared.
Now you'll go back to not speaking during the other shows.
Yes.
Back to Banana Mania with you.
Yeah. Well, Danielle, I want to thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Now back to your regular chair on the other side of the room.
No, I think you did great, and I think you you brought a lot to us. So let's give her a good old fashioned nothing podcast round of Tom, you're too early.
Thanks, guys.
Settle. And let's hear it one more time from Old Blue Eyes himself.
You did a cuckoo job, baby. You did beautiful, and you're a lovely chickadee with a weird old laugh and some wide shoulders. You've been listening to the Nothing Podcast with Nobody Important, a cool side production, with your hosts, Frank Caiati, and me, John Panepinto, with contributors Matt Hunt, Joe Hagopian, and Danielle Rose Fisher, and engineered by Tom Zaccheo. Find us online at nothing-podcast.com, and be sure to rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever fine podcasts are distributed.